My name is Sohail Pasha. Welcomes you to Let's Crack Dcet channel. In this video, I am going to solve Karnataka Diploma CET 2018 Mechanical Engineering question paper solution from question number 106 to question number 130. This is the part 2, friend. My rank is 497 in Dcet 2015. Okay, I have given the PDF of this class in the description. You can download. So let's get started. Let's start with question number 106. Poisson's ratio is defined as the ratio of, and the options are linear strain to lateral strain to linear strain, shear stress to shear strain, tensile stress to tensile strain. Okay friends, as you can see here, a bar fixed at one end and free at the other end. If the load is acting in this direction, of course there will be change in length in this direction, that is increase in length in this direction, and in this direction the dimension will be reduced. Okay friends, as you can see here, this is the bar after applying the load, and the strain in this direction is called longitudinal strain, and this strain in this direction is called lateral strain, and the Poisson's ratio is the ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain. Okay friends, and it is a constant value for different materials, and it is denoted by L by M or mu or nu, and the value of Poisson's ratio is varies from 0 to 0.5, and here I have written some of the value of Poisson's ratio for different material. For cork it is 0, for steel it is 0.3, for rubber it is 0.5. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is option number 2. It is the ratio of lateral strain to linear strain. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 107. When a steel bar of length 1 meter is extended by 0.01 mm due to tensile load, the strain is, and the options are 1 into 10 raised to minus 6, 1 into 10 raised to minus 5, 1 into 10 raised to minus 4, 1 into 10 raised to minus 3. Okay friends, here in question it is asking for strain, and in the question the data is given as the original length is 1 meter, that is 1000 mm, and change in length is 0.001 mm, and the strain is change in length by original length. If you put it like this, change in length is as 0.001 mm and original length as 1000 mm, and the answer will get is 1 into 10 raised to minus 6. Here change in length is also in mm, original length is also is in mm, both mm will get cancelled, and strain has no unit. Okay friends, so the correct answer for this question is option number 1, 1 into 10 raised to minus 6. Let's move on to question number 108. The center of gravity of a cone of height h from its base is given by, and the options are h by 3, h by 4, h by 2, 2h by 3. Okay friends, as you can see here, a solid cone, its center of gravity is h by 4. This is the total height h, this is the y direction, this is the x direction, and the value of center of gravity of a cone is given as y bar is equal to h by 4. Here I have written some of the value of center of gravity of some common solid. For cylinder it is h by 2, and for sphere it is r, and for hemisphere it is 3r by 8. Okay friends, you need to remember these formulas. Okay, if it is asked in exam, you can attempt these questions, and for this question the correct option is option number 2, h by 4 is the correct option. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 109. The moment of inertia of a rectangular section of width b and depth d about a vertical axis passing through its center of gravity is given by, and the options are bd cube by 12, bd cube by 6, db cube by 6, db cube by 12. Okay friends, as you can see here, a rectangle, this is the depth, this is the breadth, this is the coordinate, this is the x direction, this is y direction. About a vertical axis means this direction IYY. For IYY it is db cube by 12. For horizontal axis it is IXX, it is bd cube by 12. And for this question the correct option is db cube by 12. Option number 4 is the correct answer for this question. And also you need to remember this formula also, IXX. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 110. A beam of having more than 2 support is known as, and the options are cantilever beam, simply supported beam, continuous beam, overhanging beam. Okay friends, here I have written the definition of all 4 beams. First we will see the cantilever beam. As you can see here, this is the simple diagram of cantilever beam. This is the fixed end, this is the free end, this is the length of the beam. Okay friends, here this is the definition. A cantilever is a rigid structural element which extends horizontally and is supported at only one end. Okay friends, and the second one is simply supported beam. As you can see here, this is the simple diagram of simply supported beam. A simply supported beam is a type of beam that has pinned at one end and roller support at the other end. Practical application of SSB with point loading includes bridges, beams in building and beds of machine tools, etc. Okay friends, and the third one is continuous beam. This is the simple diagram of continuous beam. Continuous beam are statically indeterminate multi-span beam supported on hinges is known as continuous beam. These beams are supported by 2 or more supports. Okay friends, and the fourth one is overhanging beam. This is a simple diagram of overhanging beam. If the end portion of beam extends beyond the support, as you can see here, these are the 2 supports, this is the extended portion beyond the support, the beam is known as overhanging beam. Okay friends, and the correct option for this question is option number 3. A beam having more than 2 support is known as continuous beam. Option number 3 is the correct answer. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 111. The maximum value of bending moment for a simply supported beam of length L carrying an UDL of W per unit length throughout its length is, and the options are WL by 8, WL by 4, WL square by 8, WL square by 4. Okay friends, here I have solved this problem. After solving you will get the answer is WL square by 8. This is the correct answer. Okay friends, you solve and try and find out the correct answer. Okay friends, the correct option for this question is option number 3. WL square by 8 is the correct answer for this question. Okay, let's move on to question number 112. The shear force diagram of a simply supported beam carrying a point load at its center is represented by, and the options are 2 rectangles, 2 triangles, 2 trapezium, 2 parabolic curve. Okay friends, as you can see here, I have drawn a diagram for shape of shear force diagram as well as bending moment diagram for SSB having a point load at its center. Okay friends, SSB having a point load at its center, the shear force is represented by 2 rectangles. Okay friends, and the correct option for this question is option number 1. 2 rectangle is the correct answer. Let's move on to question number 113. The value of a shear force at the fixed end of a cantilever of length L carrying an UDL of W per unit length is, and the options are WL square by 2, WL by 2, WL. Okay friends, as you can see here, I have completely solved this problem. After solving you will get shear force at A is minus WL at the fixed end. At point A you will get as minus WL. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is option number 4. WL is the correct answer. You try and solve, you will get. Okay friends, Let's move on to question number 114. The shear stress induced at the center of solid shaft subjected to torsion is, and the options are maximum, minimum, average of maximum and minimum, 0. As you can see here, a shaft fixed at one end and free at the other end. This is the diameter of the shaft. Consider a line PQ on the outer surface of the shaft. If we give a torque like this, the line PQ will shift to PQ dash. This is called theta, angle of twist, and this angle is shear stress. This is the length of the shaft. Okay friends, the shear stress is 0 at the center and maximum at the outer fiber or layer. You can say that shear stress, the value of shear stress is increases with increase in radius. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is option number 4, 0. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 115. When a cantilever is subjected to bending due to a point load at its free end, maximum compressive stress will be developed at its, and the options are topmost fiber, bottommost fiber, neutral axis, center of gravity. Okay friends, as you can see here, this is the cantilever beam fixed at one end and point load at its free end. Due to this load, the beam will bend like this. Okay friends, due to this, the top portion will get expanded or it get tensile stresses. The bottom layer will get compressive stresses. So the bottom most fiber will get maximum compressive stress. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option number 2, bottommost fiber. The maximum compressive stress will be at bottommost fiber. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 116. A compound mechanism is an assemblage of, and the options are 2 links, 3 links, 5 links, 4 links. Okay friends, as you can see here, this is the definition of compound mechanism. A mechanism with 4 link is known as simple mechanism, and the mechanism with more than 4 link is known as compound mechanism. Okay friends, 4 link means it is simple mechanism, more than 4 link means it is compound mechanism. Okay friends, so the right option for this question is option number 3, 5 link. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 117. Which of the following is an example of double slider crank chain? And the options are beam engine, crank and slotted lever mechanism, with Wool's quick return motion mechanism, elliptical trammel. Okay friends, here I have written the inversion of 4-bar chain and the inversion of single slider crank chain and the inversions of double slider crank chain. Okay friends, first we will see one by one. First, inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism. First one is beam engine or crank and lever mechanism or crank and rocker mechanisms. Second one is coupling rod of locomotive or double crank mechanism. Third one is wide straight line mechanism or double lever mechanism. Okay friends, and second one is inversion of single slider crank chain. In this, first one is reciprocating engine mechanism, second one is oscillating cylinder engine mechanism, third one is crank and slotted lever mechanism, fourth one is Whitworth quick return motion mechanism, fifth is rotary engine mechanism, sixth is bull engine mechanism, seventh is hand pump. Okay friends, and the third one is inversion of double slider crank chain. In this, first one is elliptical trammel, second one is Scotch yoke mechanism, third one is Oldham's coupling. Okay friends, beam engine is an inversion of 4-bar chain. Okay friends, and the second option is crank and slotted lever mechanism. This is the inversion of single slider crank chain. Third option is Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. This is also an inversion of single slider crank chain. but in question it is asked for double slider crank chain. So the right option for this question is option number 4, elliptical trammel. Option number 4, elliptical trammel is the correct answer for this question. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 118. The relative motion between the belt and the pulley due to the change in the length of the belt when it passes from the tight side to the slack side is called as, and the options are creep, sleep, centrifugal tension, initial tension. Okay friends, here I have written the definition of creep, sleep, centrifugal tension and the initial tension. Okay friends, first we will see the creep. During rotation, uneven expansion and contraction of the belt over the pulley, there will be a relative movement or motion of the belt over the pulley. This phenomena is known as creep in the belts. Okay friends, and the second one is slip. When the frictional grip becomes insufficient, there is a possibility of forward motion of driver without carrying the belt with it, and there is also possibility of belt rotating without carrying the driven pulley with it. This is known as slip of the belt. Okay friends, and the third one is centrifugal tension. The rotation of the pulley, there will be a centrifugal force which acts away from the pulley. The tension created because of this centrifugal force both on the slack side and the tight side is known as centrifugal tension. Okay friends, and the fourth one is initial tension. The tension provided on the belt while mounting the pulley is known as initial tension, and it is denoted by T0. Okay friends, so the right option for this question is option number 1, creep is the correct answer for this question. Let's move on to question number 119. For maximum power transmission in belt drives, the centrifugal tension is dash times the maximum tension in the belt, and the options are 0.55, 0.25, 0.33, 0.75. Okay friends, for maximum power transmission, the centrifugal tension Tc is given by T by 3. Okay friends, if T is equal to 1, Tc is 0.33 times. Okay friends, as you can see, 1 by 3 will become as 0.33. Okay friends, where T is equal to T1 plus Tc, where T1 is equal to tension on the tight side and Tc is centrifugal tension. Okay friends, here the correct answer is 0.33 times. So the correct option is option number 3, 0.33 is the correct answer. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 120. In a gear, the product of diametral pitch and module is, and the options are 1, 0.5, pi by 2. Okay friends, first we will see what is diametral pitch. It is expressed as the number of teeth per unit length of pitch circle diameter, and it is denoted by P suffix D. Okay, then formula for diametral pitch is Z by D, where Z is equal to number of teeth and D is equal to pitch circle diameter. Okay friends, then second one is module. Module is the length of pitch circle diameter per tooth, and it is denoted by M, and the formula for module is D by Z, where D is equal to pitch circle diameter and Z is number of teeth. In the question, it is asked for product of diametral pitch and module. If you take the product, Z will cancel, D will cancel, will get as 1 here. So the correct option is option number 1. 1 is the correct answer. Okay friends, the product of diametral pitch and module is 1. Let's move on to question number 121. The gear train is used in differential of automobile is, and the options are reverted gear train, epicyclic gear train, compound gear train, simple gear train. Okay friends, here I have written the application of all 4 types of gear train. First we will see the application of reverted gear train. The application of reverted gear trains, It is used in watches, clocks. The hour and minute needle are connected by reverted gear train, and it is used in back gear of lathe, automotive transmission. Okay friends, you need to remember these applications. And the second one is epicyclic gear train. Epicyclic gear train is used in automobile differential, watches, etc. Okay friends. And the third one is compound gear train. Compound gear trains are used in automobile gearbox, lathe speed gearbox. Okay friends. And the fourth one is simple gear train. Simple gear train is used in lathe machines and heavy duty press machines. Okay friends, you need to remember all these applications. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option number 2. Differential of an automobile is used in epicyclic gear train. So the correct option for this question is epicyclic gear train. Option number 2 is the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to question number 122. Coefficient of friction can be defined as the ratio of, and the options are angle of repose to angle of friction, limiting friction force to normal reaction, angle of friction to angle of repose, normal reaction to limiting frictional force. Okay friends, here I have written the definition of coefficient of friction of force. It is defined as the ratio of limiting friction to the normal reaction between the two bodies, and it is denoted by mu. Therefore mu is equal to F by Rn, where F is equal to maximum frictional force, Rn is normal reaction between the two bodies. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is option number 2. Coefficient of friction is the ratio of limiting frictional force to the normal reaction. Okay, let's move on to question number 123. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another form. This statement is known as, and the options are zeroth law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, none of the above. Here I have written the definitions of all thermodynamic laws. First we will see what is zeroth law. When a body A is in thermal equilibrium with another body B, and also separately in thermal equilibrium with a body C, then the body B and C will also be in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay friends, you see here, this is the body A, this is the body B, this is the body C. Body A is in thermal equilibrium with body B and also separately with body C. Then zeroth law will say that both the body B and C will also be in thermal equilibrium with each other. This is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay friends, then second one is first law of thermodynamics. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, though it can be transferred from one form to another form. This statement is known as first law of thermodynamics. Okay, and the second law of thermodynamics state that the total entropy of an isolated system can never be decreased over time and is constant if and only if all processes are reversible. Okay friends, so the right option for this question is option number 2, first law of thermodynamics. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 124. The measurement of temperature is based on, and the options are zeroth law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, none of the above. In the previous question we saw what is zeroth law. Zeroth law is it gives the concept of temperature or thermal equilibrium. Okay friends, thermometry is based on the zeroth law only. This gives the idea to design the thermometer. This law, zeroth law, gives the idea to design the thermometer. Okay, the scientist name is Ralph H. Fowler, and it is denoted by T. SI unit is Kelvin, and other units are degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, and it is an intensive property of thermodynamics. You need to remember all this. Okay friends, Let's move on to question number 125. When the gas is heated at constant volume, the heat supplied is and the options are: increase the internal energy of the gas, decrease the internal energy of the gas, does some external work during expansion, increase the pressure of the gas. Okay friends, you see here, according to first law of thermodynamics, the heat supplied is equal to the sum of change in internal energy and work done, and it is given as dq is equal to du plus dw. Work done is equal to pdv, where p is the pressure and dv is the change in volume. As volume is constant, so dv is 0, hence work done is also 0. dq is equal to du plus 0, and then dq is equal to du. The heat supplied is used to change the internal energy only. Okay friends, as you can see here, option 1 is the correct answer for this question. It increases the internal energy of the gas. Okay friends, let's move on to question number 126. A process in which the gas is heated or expanded in such a way that the product of its pressure and volume remains constant is called, and the options are hyperbolic process, isothermal process, adiabatic process, polytropic process. Okay friends, first we will see what is hyperbolic process. Hyperbolic process is the process where the gas is heat or expanded in such a way that the product of its pressure and volume remains constant. Okay friends, and the second one is isothermal process. An isothermal process is a thermodynamic process in which the temperature of the system remains constant. Okay, and the third one is adiabatic process. An adiabatic process occurs without transferring heat or mass between a thermodynamic system and its surrounding, is known as adiabatic process. Okay, and the fourth one is polytropic process. A polytropic process is a thermodynamic process that obeys the relation PV to the power of n. Okay, where P is equal to pressure, V is equal to volume, n is equal to polytropic index. The value of n is polytropic index is different for different processes. Okay friends, and then which describe multiple expansion and compression which include heat transfer. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is hyperbolic process. Option 1, hyperbolic process, is the correct answer for this question. Okay, let's move on to question number 127. Which of the following is an intensive property of thermodynamic system? And the options are mass, temperature, volume, energy. First we will see what is intensive property. Intensive property are physical properties that do not depend on the amount of matter. Examples are pressure, temperature, density. Okay friends, and the second one is extensive property. In extensive properties are physical properties that depends on the amount of matter. Examples are volume, enthalpy, entropy, internal energy, etc. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option number 2, temperature is the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to question number 128. When a perfect gas is expanded through an aperture of minute dimension, the process is known as, and the options are isothermal process, throttling process, free expansion process, adiabatic process. Okay friends, this is the throttling process. When a perfect gas is allowed to expand through an aperture of small dimension, like a narrow throat or slightly opened wall, then the process is known as throttling process. Throttling is an isenthalpic process. Enthalpy at section 1 is equals to enthalpy at section 2. H1 is equal to H2. Okay friends, and fundamentally it is a non-quasi equilibrium process. Non-quasi means non-reversible process. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option number 2, throttling process is the correct answer for this question. Okay, let's move on to question number 129. If the value of n is equal to gamma in the equation PV to the power of n is equal to constant, then the process is known as, and the options are isothermal process, constant volume process, adiabatic process, hyperbolic process. Okay friends, here you can see PV to the power of n is equal to constant. If x is equal to 1, then it is isothermal process. If x is equal to gamma, then it is adiabatic process. If x is equal to infinity, it is isochoric process. Isochoric means volume is equal to constant. Isothermal means temperature is equal to constant. And x is equal to 0, isobaric process. Isobaric means P is equal to constant. So in question it is asking us n is equal to gamma. This if x is equal to gamma means adiabatic process. So the correct option for this question is option number 3. Adiabatic process is the correct answer for this question. Move on to question number 130. This is the last question of this session. Okay friends, the entropy may be expressed as, and the options are dq by dt, dq minus dt, dq plus dt, dq into dt. Okay friends, here I have written the definition of entropy. Entropy is defined as a measure of randomness or disorderness of a system. Okay, it is a thermodynamic function, and it is also a state function, not a path function. It is a state function. It is represented by S, and SI unit is joules per Kelvin mole, and it is expressed as dq by dt. dq is positive when heat is added, and dq is negative when heat is removed. Okay friends, so the correct option for this question is option number 1, dq by dt is the correct answer. Okay.